In this video, I'm going to go through everything for sale in the charity auction, which takes place in just a few days. Not just the 26 items I've put up for sale myself, but also the other things my YouTube pals all around the world have listed on eBay to help raise money for the befriending scheme. Before I get on with all of the goodies, a word from the event organiser, Lee. He's going to tell you a bit more about what the charity does and what the money will be spent on. Hi, I'm Lee from the YouTube channel More Fun Making It, and this year I'm raising money for the Befriending Scheme. The Befriending Scheme is an organisation that provides friendship and learning opportunities for vulnerable adults across Suffolk here in the UK. My own son Thomas enjoys working at the Red Rose Community Farm, run by the scheme, where he's able to build and maintain friendships as well as learn useful skills and engage in meaningful activities. He especially loves to care for the many animals on the farm, but I suspect his favourite thing is hanging out with his friends. The money we aim to raise this year will be used to fund acquiring some miniature donkeys to live on the farm. That's right, donkeys come in mini-sized too. On the 19th of October, I'll be hosting a 12-hour live stream with lots of retro and vintage tech YouTubers from all over the world. And during the day, all of the auctions I and others have been preparing will be ending, hopefully raising a huge heap of money to buy those donkeys. The theme of this year's event is Commodore, and we'll have lots of different Commodore machines ranging all the way from the Kim 1 right up to an amazing Amiga 1200 in a big box Checkmate case. As well as all the stuff I'll be selling, lots of my YouTube chums will be auctioning off their own items, with all of the proceeds going to the cause. And I suspect the video you're watching right now is all about one of those items. So if you'd like to bid on something or just come along and watch the stream, you can find links to everything you need in the description. If you can't make it but would like to donate, there's a Just Giving page which you can find in the same place. Thank you, and on with the video. Thank you, Lee, you handsome devil you. I think I should give a little More Fun Making It backstory here before I start listing cold hard eBay facts. A few years ago, back when my channel was still breaking out of its egg, one of my longest supporters and now friend, Matt, or other Retro Matt, offered me an Atari 2600. I felt a bit guilty about accepting this kind of offer, and as a compromise I demanded he let me repair and restore it and then sell it for charity. Matt chose the British Heart Foundation as the beneficiary. I repaired the Atari and we sold it, raising, if I remember rightly, around £250, which was great. But a few people pointed out that they would have quite liked to have contributed in some way, but were quickly outbid in the auction. A good point, which I took on board a couple of years later when I decided, some might say foolishly, to run another charity auction. This time the catalyst being the ZX Spectrum that Lee Smith donated to my channel. Again, feeling unworthy of such generosity, I told everyone I would sell this wonderful thing for charity, and what's more, I'd build a special ZX Spectrum to go inside this brilliant case. I've learned now that these things tend to snowball. In the end, we ended up selling, I think I remember rightly, 5 ZX Spectrums of various flavours on the final day, during an exhausting marathon live stream, and we ended up raising over £13,000. It was an amazing day, and I'll never forget how stunned I felt when some of those auctions ended, selling for incredible amounts. Well, this year we are back, and we're doing it again, only this time it's Commodore machines, apart from one notable exception. More on that later. And this time there's a few more than 5. I'm going to go through the list in the order in which these things are going to sell, and at the same time I'll tell you who's going to be with me in the charity stream while these auctions are ending. The stream starts with Aussie Hour at 11 AM British summertime, and the guest list for that 2 hours is Mark from the Retro channel, Jason from Mr. Lurch's Things, 005 Agima Chris, who will be our roving reporter out in the retro field, Johan from the basement, Grumpy Oz Tony, and Grumpier Oz Craig. And so I don't get bullied too much by the Aussies, I have Matt from Tech Made Easy, who has a stake in one of the items being sold in this session, which also has an Australian connection. And here are the things that will sell in those first 2 hours. 2 items go under the hammer at 11:30 AM British summertime, a slight planning error on my part. The first is this lovely VIC-20 with pet-style keycaps. This was donated by Colcos, who also donated a whole raft of other items. This lovely VIC-20 comes with some useful extras, including a penultimate +2 cart and a couple of joysticks, also a couple of games on cartridge, an original tape deck, and for the ultimate nostalgia experience, a typing games book and manuals. At the same time of 11:30 AM, that's not going to cause a headache on the day, is a Commodore +4 from Mr. Lurch himself. This one comes with an SD to IEC, an original PSU, and S-video and audio cables. It's also been modified with an early version of the Retro Channel Mark's improved S-video output, which isn't yet available for sale. I'm given to understand these TED Commodore machines are not very common down under, so this and the next machine could prove quite popular amongst the Aussie collectors. Speaking of which, the next auction at 12 noon is from Mark of the Retro Channel. Mark is selling a lovely Commodore C16, which has been upgraded with 64K of RAM and has the special improved video output Mark is becoming well known for, plus a DB9 joystick adapter, S-video cable, audio cable, and a universal triad power supply. I don't know what that is. This machine has featured in a couple of recent episodes on Mark's channel. I'll put links in the description. At 12:15 PM is an Amiga 500 Mini donated by Andrew Searle, who also donated a few other things, including one of the very big ticket items. It's not old, but it will scratch your nostalgia itch and comes with a USB tank mouse and a CD32 style joypad. 12:30 is the first C64. This Aussie case was donated by Matt from Tech Made Easy and is the main reason he's lurking in this session with me. I built the 60 clone motherboard inside this machine, which you can see in a video I made about it, link in the description. The hardware hour starts at 1 PM. These are all 2-hour sessions, but I keep saying an hour so the guests don't realise. This will see me joined by John from Retrobytes, Control-Alt-Reese, Glenn from CRG, who is also my wingman for the whole stream, and you'll see him popping up regularly throughout the day, and Andy from Hack Build Restore, and another Andy, but this time from Rasterai, and finally a couple of YouTube old hats in Jan Beta and Neil from RMC Retro. And the auctions in this session will be 1:15 PM, a custom purple cased Amiga 500 from Hack Build Restore's Andy. Sadly, at the Amiga Kickstart event in Nottingham this year, a load of rampant YouTubers scribbled all over the base of this machine in a fit of wanton destruction. Andy can tell you a bit more about it himself.
I took a literal heap of unloved Amiga 500 parts, with the ambition of turning these into a working machine. Sporting an original Revision 5 motherboard, and its specifications brought up to that of a Revision 6, with 1 meg of chip RAM. Placing this one-of-a-kind survivor of a motherboard into a bland beige case didn't quite seem the right thing to do. So the case it now adorns is finished in a purple metallic flip-flop green-black paint that literally has to be seen to be understood. This is complemented by an external Gotek drive finished in a black glitter retro-styled finish. This adds the day-to-day functionality that any Amiga user might want. The pièce de résistance is that it is signed by all the YouTubers that attended Kickstart 2. It's a tribute to the love for the Amiga machine, even by those that may be considered to be more of a Atari ST fan.
If you want to see more about this machine before bidding, the link to his video is in the description. 1:30 PM will roll around, and if I can get the hardware rabble to be quiet for a moment, the auction that will end at that time will be a Kim 1 single board computer, donated by Devilish Designs Dave Williams, who ordered some purple boards especially for this event. The following auction at 1:45 will also be a set of those custom blank PCBs, so you can make your own one. I made a video about this build too. Description! Right after this at 1:55 is a VIC-20 from CRG Glenn, which was, as he describes in his video on this machine, pulled from a collapsed building. Glenn brought this machine back from oblivion and worked wonders restoring it back to its former glory. It also comes with goodies, a Final Expansion 3 cartridge he made in another video, a refurbed PSU with modern internals which he made in another video, cables, joystick, and a book. He didn't make videos about those. A tape deck and a box. It's a complete package and a great thing to own. Glenn is hoping someone in the UK will buy this one, as he's offering to pay for the postage himself. Soon after that auction ends, Glenn will be busy bidding on the next one. A Commodore PC AT multimedia keyboard donated by Paul Universal Retro Boss. This auction ends at 2:05 along with another, which is Jan Beta's first, an Amiga 500 in a brand new reproduction A1200.net case. This has been the subject of multiple videos on his channel, and Jan is being super generous in offering to ship this within the EU for free. International buyers will need to sort out those costs themselves. I can't blame him for that. Amigas are huge. And then a very popular item will end at 2:15 p.m. They come thick and fast in this section. This one is the Mini Pet with a deluxe keyboard, which I built in a recent video. Description: I'm given to understand this is one of the last of this type to be sold. 2:30 p.m. is RMC Neil's item. I think you might want to watch the stream to hear him explain why you should bid on this. I don't think I could do it justice. I will say it is brand new, in bag, sealed and never used, and it did belong to the daddy of UK retro YouTube. You be the judge. 2:45, and it's my own personal favourite item in the auctions. The crystal and purple A500++. A stunning piece that you need to see to get the full effect. I put a heap of work into this one, and the donations that came in to help make it special were mind-blowing. Hopefully you saw the video I made on this machine too. If not, you know where to look. Right at the end of the hardware section at 3 p.m, Jan Beta has a second auction ending. This one being a C64, which was the subject of his video, Commodore 64 bread bin saved from the flood. Again, Jan is shipping this for free in the EU. A brilliant double donation by a lovely man and one of my favourite YouTubers. And once that's out of the way and I've herded the hardware dudes out of the stream, I'll be mobbed by a bunch of crazy software guys in the software double hour. Joining me in this 2-hour slot are Mean Machine Dean, Dudley of Yesterzine, Ross from Goldfish on Games, What-Ho Snorkers, Seb from Seb's Place, Rose Tinted Dave Spectrum, and Yawning Angel Keith. I will probably get seriously out-talked in this bit. At 3:15 p.m. British summertime, the first MFI merch item in this year's auction ends, a one-of-a-kind mouse mat. I'm super happy with how this turned out, and you can be assured there will never be another one of these made. At least, not by me. And then at 3:30, an A600 which I rescued from capacitor hell. This was another donation by Andrew Searle, and comes with a period-correct Commodore mouse, a power supply with its insides replaced with a Meanwell unit, a trapdoor chip RAM expansion, a CPU-hugging 4MB fast RAM upgrade, Kickstart 3.1, and an IDE to compact flash adapter with the OS ready to go. Guess where you can find the video of this machine? In the description. 3:45 is when you can win the first of 2 BlueSky 2s. This one is of the desktop variety, kindly donated by Derek of Flame Lily, and put together by my pal Fuzzy Lee, who has been helping with all kinds of things for the event. 3:55 is the second BlueSky 2, and this one is a DB25 version, again from Derek. Cheers, Derek. 4 p.m, and Seb from the Seb's Place YouTube channel, please go and check him out, his content is excellent, is auctioning off his own VIC-20. This VIC comes with loads of extras, and I urge you to go and look into the auction listing for a full rundown. Also, you can find a link to the video he made about selling this machine for charity in the description. 4:15 is when the auction ends for the C16 I'm selling. This was donated by community legend Rob Peepo Taylor. The computer itself works perfectly and comes with a PSU and SCART cable from Retro Computer Shack. It also comes with a joystick and tape deck, but these are included as faulty. I sadly didn't get time to dig into why these aren't working or if they can be repaired, but they are included as projects for the winner, so I think that just adds value. As 4:45 comes round, I'll be getting excited about how much this crystal and purple C64 is going to go for. This is a very impressive machine. The case is a C64C style crystal reproduction from Retro Passion. The motherboard was built and donated by Rob Taylor. The MechBoard 64 LED mechanical keyboard was donated by Jacek from American Retro in the US. And the translucent keycaps were donated by Dan Tutil. All of this comes together to make a stunning and probably unique Commodore 64, and I'll be very sorry to package this one up and ship it out to one of you. I especially like to leave the LED strips on sound activated mode. It's quite a light show. Coming with this machine is a Kung Fu Flash in a transparent case, a custom built like a tank PSU donated by Arcady from Rage Against the Retro, a Mega Drive controller converter donated by friend of the channel Tej, an S-Video and composite video cable from Retro Computer Shack, and lastly one of my very own zip sticks. It's an amazing bundle and machine, and good luck winning this one. That's going to be it for the software, guys. I've called the next section Dave's House Party. Velociraptor Dave of This Week in Retro will hopefully be joining me from an actual retro event he's attending. And the hope is, if all goes well with technology, he'll be carting in different people from the event to join us on the stream. It should be fun and chaotic, but mostly fun if we can pull it off. The first thing to sell at 5:30 PM in Dave's House Party will be the biggest item in this list. A Checkmate 1500 Plus case which I filled with an Amiga 1200. The case was donated by the unbelievably lovely Cathers Chris, along with all kinds of bits to make it a whole and working machine. Things like a special power supply and a PyStorm 32 Lite. The A1200 was very kindly donated by, once again, Andrew Searle. And this build is the subject of my latest video I've only just finished and released this week. It also comes with an external Gotek. Thank you, Colcuz. A tank mouse, I believe this was donated by Nothing New Here, which I upgraded with Omron switches, an RGB to SCART cable, and that PyStorm 32 Lite. It also has the Trick external A1200 keyboard, which performs witchcraft by being connected via USB to the Amiga. Another amazing machine that I hope will sell for loads of money. At 5:45 PM, a simple sew-on Commodore badge. I've included some of these smaller items to give more people a chance of winning something. Of course, I also hope it will sell for £100. Now we come to a controversial pair of items. There's a bit of an internet squabble going on about these, mostly started and fueled by me. The mugs. Last year I bundled my own mug with another from CRG and Neil's RMC mug, and they all sold together for over £250. Well, of course I want to know who has the best mug this year. Of course it's mine, but Neil, Dave and Duncan might have something to say about this. Some might think it's a little unfair I've put in my own mug as a one-off and unique item which will never again be made, and that I basically stole the This Week in Retro mug from the RMC Cave Museum shop from their stock. It's not a bespoke mug, there are many more like it, but apparently the Twir guys have been stirred into action. Let's see what Neil and Dave have to say on the matter. I'm sure it's cutting and is going to burn me a bit.
Now it's time for a special segment this week requested by viewers called Dave is a Donkey, in which we can all call Dave a donkey. Dave, you're a donkey.
Why am I a donkey?
Dave, you're a donkey.
He always calls me that. We are doing...
Are you sure you want to put this in the show, Dave?
No, it's going to... This is to be a special clip to try and promote the mug.
Special clip.
Special clip.
Okay.
Are you watching the special clip now? Is this in the special clip?
Oh.
Special clip. Lee is doing, More Fun Making It is doing a charity stream in which a mug, a special, unique, bespoke mug.
Dave, you're a mug.
Yes, and you're a donkey. Is going on auction. Buy it. Bid lots of money in it. The money goes to a good cause. There you go. Well, that
There
do
you
Neil.
go. Buy the
There
mug.
you go. Donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey? Is he a donkey too? If you're a donkey and I'm a donkey, is Duncan a donkey?
Bye.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen Neil look more uncomfortable, but the gist of it is they've now organised for a special mug to be sent to me which is due to arrive a few days before the auction ends. They managed to get Dan of Retrofi to customise a mug to compete with my own unique mug. Not a problem for Dan, who sells custom mugs and all kinds of other cool things like reproduction badges and vinyl wraps for vintage computers. So it's a This Week in Retro mug with Duncan the editor and a couple of jackasses. Nice! I will allow this mid-game changing of the playing field, or rules or something. The new Twir mug will be a shorter auction I'll arrange which will end at 6 PM, and the original Twir mug will end at 6:15.
Now it's time for a special segment this week requested by viewers called Dave is a Donkey, in which we can all call Dave a donkey.
Why am I a donkey?
Donkey, donkey, Dave, you're a donkey, donkey, donkey.
Why am I a donkey? Donkey.
Dave, you're a donkey. Donkey, donkey. Dave, you're a donkey.
Is he a donkey too? If you're a donkey and I'm a donkey, is Duncan a donkey?
Just before my own More Fun Making It mug with the amazing Crystal the Purple Donkey, which will sell at 6:20 p.m. This is a battle you won't want to miss, jackass. Once everyone has calmed down and we're all friends again, there's going to be a bit of a break while we say goodbye to Dave and chums and hello to our pals in America. The wonderful Adrian is back again this year, and joining him are Retrobits Matt, another Matt, Polymatt, so that won't be confusing, and yet another retro channel, Todd. The first auction ending in this section at 7:15 p.m. British summertime is a special joystick. This is the C64 30-in-1 joystick that was invented by the amazing Jerry Ellsworth. Friend of the channel Fergus asked Jerry if she would sign the box and she agreed, probably because she's a lovely, amazing person. Not long after this at 7:30 p.m. British summertime, you can win a Commodore C128, fully working and checked over by none other than Commodore Lad himself. It comes with an original power supply which I repaired myself. I might even bid on this one, I always wanted one of these. I featured this machine on a second channel video and was going to repair it in a main channel episode. Sadly, that was around the time at the start of this year when things were tricky for me at home and my time to repair things was very short. So I got Adam to take a look, and happily for me, this one stumped him too. At least for now. With time running out, Adam generously swapped the motherboard for one of his own working C128s. So now this is a fully working machine. A great thing to own. At 7:45, Retrobits Matt has a C64 which he picked up at a recent VCF, brought home and restored to sell for this event. I really like the dust cover on this one. It's so early 80s. Matt has some words to say.
Hi guys, it's Matt from Retrobits. What we have here is a classic breadbin C64 of the NTSC variety that's been lovingly repaired and restored to be auctioned off in support of Lee's fundraising efforts for the befriending scheme. I purchased this machine as untested during the recent VCF Midwest event in Chicago. For its rehabilitation, the case, computer-mate dust cover, and keyboard were all given a thorough cleaning. The latter was further disassembled so all the contacts and plungers could be restored to their former glory, and all the keys have been verified to function in the most splendid of fashion. Inside the unit, a defective PLA was swapped out for a modern replacement. The original MT RAM chips were given the old heave-ho in favor of brand new Samsung parts. Afterwards, the 64 was subject to a thorough workout with a variety of games and demos, and further passes all tests using the full diagnostic harness. To sweeten the deal, I'm including a brand new Electroware power supply and your choice of CBM stuff keycaps in a number of exclusive colors. Heck, I'll even throw in some Retrobit swag for good measure if it'll convince one of you to buy this thing on eBay. So go ahead and bid with confidence in order to help support this wonderful cause.
Thank you, Matt. Matts are the best, aren't they? Todd's are great too. And at 8 p.m, here is yet another Retro Channel's Todd with a great example of a well-restored C64 bread bin which he's bundling with lots of extras to get the owner straight into playing their favourite games. Thank you, Todd. A link to Todd's video is in the description. And here is Polymatt, a relatively new guy on the scene who's already creating incredible content. And he's generously offered up something seriously special. Take it away, Polymatt.
Hey everyone, Polymatt here, and this year for Lee's charity auction, I'm going to be donating this, my silver label Commodore 64. Now for those of you who don't know, the silver label and the color of the keycaps indicate that this is one of the first production runs in 1982 or 1983 of the Commodore 64. Now this thing is in fantastic cosmetic condition, and it even still has the peel on the power label. Now I don't have a color monitor, but I hooked up to an old black and white and ran a dead test cartridge and everything checked out great. You can find this Commodore up on the US eBay auction starting at just $1. So keep in mind, all of this is for charity, so please be generous. So Lee, best of luck on the charity auction, and I hope this one helps.
Polymatt's auction will end at 8:15 p.m. British summertime. Bet you didn't expect a silver label in the auctions. Back to my stuff, and the next machine I'm selling at 8:30 p.m. is the Commodore Plus 4, which was donated by the lovely and kind Dan from Retro Recollections. Dan is a super nice guy who I met up with at the RMC Museum earlier in the year. That was where he handed over this boxed machine. He did warn me it wasn't fully working, but luckily on that same day my friend Mike DX was also at the museum, and he also had a Plus 4 in pretty rancid condition, which he handed over to help out if I needed spares. Well, I did, and this Plus 4 is actually a combination of both of these machines. The original PSU was sadly beyond my ability to repair, so I've included a brand new custom C64 PSU, as made again by Arcadesy. I also replaced the weird square original power socket on the Plus 4 with a round C64 style one. Given more time, I would have tried to include a tape deck with this machine, but sadly all of the ones I have here are not very reliable. If the eventual owner would like me to include a broken one anyway, please let me know and I'll send one with it. 9 p.m. will roll around and things are going to start winding down. The last 2 hours are going to be tough, but I have a few friends to get me over the line, including Lee Smith, Retro Crazy Duncan, and my wingman Glenn from CRG. Others will be welcome to join in if they're available. There are 5 more auctions ending over these 2 hours, starting at 9:30 p.m. The first one is a bit controversial. When I planned this event, I made a firm commitment to keep all of the auctions Commodore themed, which meant I had to turn away quite a few different donations, some of them quite special, but all of them not Commodore. I made one exception to this, and this auction is that thing. I was messaged by Chris from Bellman's Auto Electronics. They also have a YouTube channel called No Messin', which I believe is about cars and stuff. Chris was offering me a ZX Spectrum. Wait, what? Yep, that's right. A rainbow specky has worked its way into the ranks of brown Commodores. The playground will be bathed in blood, but this does give all my fellow Sinclair fanboys out there a chance to get one over on those Commodore bullies. Imagine if this was the highest amount raised. I'm basically starting fights here for a good cause. It's to buy donkeys, so it's okay. To spice things up a bit, this isn't just a rubber key Spectrum. It's not even a special issue 1 Spectrum. It's not even old. In this box is a Kickstart 2 edition ZX Spectrum Next Accelerated, whatever that means. And I would dearly love to show you this machine and marvel at its black sleek Rick Dickinson design case, but I can't. This box is sealed from the factory and I'm under strict instructions from Chris not to open it, as that will drop its value. This has been very hard for me. I promise it will still be sealed when it arrives on your doorstep. Good luck, Sinclair fans. The 10 p.m. auction is a boxed original C64C, which is almost complete except for the Commodore joystick, which was terrible anyway. I've replaced the power supply with an upgraded but period correct third-party PSU, but just in case of catastrophe there is a C64 power saver included. This whole bundle was donated by my friend Fuzzy Lee and includes all of the original tapes and manuals, a cracking machine and my personal favourite shape of C64. The last mug is being sold at 10:15 p.m. and this one is an Amiga mug that Steve from Retro Passion gave to me for the auctions at the Kickstart event in Nottingham. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. will be the last of my own auctions. This Commodore branded Photorama camera was donated by my very good friend and habit enabler Paul Universal Retro Boss. I'm sure it will take some form of picture if you can afford to put film in it and get it developed. It's a nice thing to own though. 10:45 is the last auction and this one is from fellow YouTuber Retro Crazy Duncan.
Hello and welcome to my dining room table. I'm Duncan from Retro Crazy. This is my Commodore Amiga Amitech drive and this is only one of 2 of these polos in existence. The drive has been fully recapped, cleaned and serviced, and the polo has been, well, it's brand new. These are being auctioned off as one lot via eBay and all proceeds are going to the befriending scheme on behalf of Lee at More Fun Making It. So remember, bid, as it's all in a good cause.
He made a video about it which you can find linked in the description. I've no idea how I'll feel by this time. Actually, I do know I'll feel tired, but it remains to be seen how much of a dent we can put into the huge target of £15,000. This time last year we were much further along with more donations to the Just Giving page and the total reached on the night was £13,000, so my feelings are mixed about whether we will get close to the big number. I hope so. But it really doesn't matter if we don't, because after all this is done and dusted, I intend to keep going. I have a bunch of stuff here that was donated to the cause, which I just haven't had time to prepare. So I'll pick an item and every couple of weeks or so, I'll hold another mini auction. And I'll keep doing this until we either reach £15,000 or run out of things to sell, which I suspect is unlikely knowing how generous you lot are. The Commodore restriction will be lifted, and one of the first things up for sale is an Amstrad CPC 464, which was actually donated by Retro Crazy Duncan for last year's auction. So it's about time it got its turn. That's it for this video. I hope you can join in and catch some of the stream on Saturday. And look, let's be honest, there's 37 auctions here, and I hope a lot more of you out there bidding on these things. So if you don't manage to win something but still want to help get those miniature donkeys for the befriending scheme, then please consider dropping a few of your local units of currency into the Just Giving page. As CRG Glenn said in his video, if just a fraction of you donate a few pounds, the money raised from those donations will push us a long way closer to the target. The links, as ever, are in the description. Thank you for watching. Wish me luck.
Lee has asked us to make a quick 60-second video going over what we're sending to auction for the charity. Well, I thought I've already done that, sort of. I've made 4 full-length videos. They're on my channels. There's one of them playing in the background there, and no doubt Lee has linked them all down below. So rather than me talking about the VIC-20 again, how about we use this 60 seconds for you guys to head over to the Just Giving page and make a quick donation. Thank you.